So, a creator that goes by Jerry Arizona traveled to Nevada, hiked up a ridge outside of Area 51, and pointed his telescopic camera straight at the base.
That would be the mothership that was allegedly filmed in Fort Myers. Have you seen it? You have?
People are saying that this video could possibly be real, but also they're saying that it's AI. Now listen, I don't know who the hell this guy is, and
what the history books don't tell you is that there was an advanced civilization here already. Early archaeologists were dumbfounded when they found hundreds of giant-sized mummies in
Yo, family, let's roll it up. Let's sit back. Let's react. Welcome back to Kingrum Reacts. Today, we're going to be reacting to some wild ass TikToks. Yet, it just gets worse and worse as long as I go. With that said, let's get straight to it. Let's get it.
You know what time it is? We got to talk, because yesterday, as I was scrolling through TikTok, what was the one video that I saw probably 30 to 40 times on my For You page? That would be the mothership that was allegedly filmed in Fort Myers. Have you seen it? You haven't? Let me show you.
From not being there to being there, and I think I just caught it.
Now, the lady who took that video said in the video that she had been watching the beach cams for weeks and weeks, hoping to get a glimpse of the mothership, and then, luck would have it, she caught that.
Cam, look.
Out of the, I would estimate around 30 to 40 videos and photos that I saw yesterday, they're all of this mothership in Fort Myers. So I want to know, have you seen this video? What do you think? I know we've been talking about motherships and UFOs and UAPs for a while now, and them making themselves known and present and visible, but have you seen this video? Have you seen a mothership with your own eyes? Do you believe that all of this is actually taking place? Because that's the conversation I want to have with you today. I have my beliefs. I want to know what yours are. And remember, anything we talk about and discuss is for learning, information, and entertainment purposes only, because it's not up to me to tell you what to believe. That's up to you. But let's have this conversation. Motherships, they're making themselves known now.
Yo, family, I've never seen that clip before, but yeah, I had to light something up on that one. Have y'all ever seen some shit like that ever in your life or whatever? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about that one. Let's get straight to it.
it's in my house. Yo, this orb is in my house. It's moving around my house. I gotta whisper. There's an alien orb in my freaking house. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Yo, oh, wow. Yo, this orb is in my house. It's scanning my house. This orb is so wow. Y'all wouldn't believe it if you didn't see this. Look. Ooh.
Yeah, family, that's some wild shit. Let me know what y'all think. Put in the comments.
This is awesome. Somebody was able to film Area 51, and it's not crazy blurry, it's not fake. This is real, it's recent, and I find it totally fascinating. So, a creator that goes by Jerry Arizona traveled to Nevada, hiked up a ridge outside of Area 51, and pointed his telescopic camera straight at the base. We're obviously not supposed to see what he filmed, but somehow he got the shot. There's a bunch of footage, but check some of this out.
Here you can see some radar, and there's one of those F-16s. Wow, it's super cool to see one of the Groom Lake F-16s up close like this. I think we might have a camo dude. It looks white. Yeah, that's definitely a white pickup. It just came from the gate. Let's see where this truck is going. Looks like it's some large metal structures, metal shelters or something over there. One lone Janet flight sat on the tarmac. I settled in for the night and watched it take off.
So even though he didn't seem to capture an alien flying piloting a flying saucer, he did capture some super interesting stuff. And seeing the Janet Airlines was really cool. I personally found watching this footage completely fascinating. He does have a few parts, so definitely go to his profile. Come back and let me know what you think of it.
Kuha ang video na ito mula sa CCTV ng bahay. Mapapansin na tila may sumisilip na kulay puti sa bintana. Pansinin nating maigi sa kaliwang bahagi ng videong ito. Patuloy na sumisilip ito sa loob ng bahay at tanging mukha lamang ang kanyang pinapakita. Ayon sa iilan, posibleng alien ang nakunan sa kamera. Pero may mga nagsasabi naman na ito ay nakamaskara lamang. Kayo na bahalang humusga sa videong ito.
Okay, all right. Here we go. Scary basement. All right, let me just...
Yeah, family, what y'all think about that alien clip? To me, it looked like a little person, but let me know what y'all think about that. Drop it down in the comments. Let's get back into it.
This is Helen Green palette by Adorable Damage. Viewed their Shimmer Shadow palette in my top 10 video, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in for like kind of a smoky look with this one right here, and you can just go in like a circular mode. So we'll start. Mom, Dad.
This video, published anonymously on the dark web, shows a man visiting an island that was supposed to have been abandoned years ago. But something was very strange. He then offered her meat, but it seemed to be human meat.
Just eat. I know, but what kind of meat is it? Why don't you tell me what kind it is?
I can't tell you.
Why?
Eat the meat or go get your own meat. See, it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You ain't never had meat like that, boy.
You hunted this, right?
Yeah, everything floats up. Stuff tends to just fall in my lap.
I floated up on this island, off a raft there. They're all over this place.
Yeah. Someone call you dinner.
Someone call me dinner?
Ah, yeah.
Why?
You know why?
I'm dinner? What does that mean?
Nothing. How's it taste?
It kind of tastes like pig, not like a boar, like a wild boar.
Interesting. That's a funny take.
They have lots of like boar on this island, or what? How big is this island? Do you know?
There ain't no damn boars out here. Ain't no deers, ain't no boars. There ain't nothing out here.
Really?
Yeah.
So like, how did you get the meat? Oh, you must have went to the store then. There's a store around here?
No.
Hell no, family. I don't give a fuck where I'm at. Let someone look like that offer me any kind of food, I'm not taking that shit. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it down in the comments. Let's get straight to it, yeah. That's some wild bullshit. That's crazy as fuck to me. And he really just kept on eating it too. Like, yeah, it is tasty. Like, hell no, I'm not eating that shit.
According to rumors, this is one of the scariest and most authentic videos that ever leaked from the dark web. Look very carefully. At first, the video looks completely harmless. Just three friends standing in a small room, recording themselves, laughing, trying to make music together. Nothing strange, nothing dangerous. Nothing that should raise suspicion. But then comes the moment people never forget. Focus on the person in the middle. Now look to the right side of his head. Because something moves there. Slow. Quiet. Almost unnoticed, but absolutely real. Some might call it a shadow. Some might say it's just bad lighting. But if you watch closely, you'll see that the shape has depth. It has weight. It leans forward as if it's observing them. And the most disturbing part is that none of the three react. Not a turn of the head. Not a pause. Nothing. as if the presence in the corner was invisible to them but not to the camera. Watch that moment again and tell me in the comments if you saw the shape too, or if it saw you first. Follow me for more true mystical stories. According to
May 1st, 1995, a University of Arizona student named Brian Hance was flipping through the campus newspaper, the Arizona Daily Wildcat, when a strange full-page message on page 16 caught his attention. The page was filled with mathematical symbols, scientific notations, and historical references, including an image of Martin Luther surrounded by formulas and cryptic diagrams. At the top, it carried a simple title, May Day 1995. At first, Brian didn't think much of it, assuming it was either an invitation to some college fraternity or some secret club. But this assumption would be proven wrong over the next 2 years, because every year a new version of the same kind of message appeared in the paper. The pages blended mathematics, maps, biblical passages, historical figures, scientific diagrams, and fragments written in Latin, Greek, Hebrew, German, and other languages. Some even included musical notation or hand-drawn illustrations. Others referenced philosophers, theologians, and pivotal moments in history. By 1997, Brian was working as the web administrator for the Arizona Daily Wildcat, which gave him access to the paper's entire archive. So he spent days digging through decades of old issues, and what he found unsettled him on two fronts. First, these cryptic pages weren't new. He found similar messages stretching back years, eventually tracing the mystery back to the early 1980s. Second, despite appearing in the newspaper for years, no one at the Daily Wildcat seemed to know who was behind them. The ads were simply delivered through a lawyer, leaving the real author completely anonymous. So, to keep track of everything, Brian created MaydayMystery.org and began archiving every page he could find, hoping that if enough people looked at them together, someone might finally crack what they meant. Digging through the website, you'll find that, although every issue brought a different looking puzzle, some elements kept repeating. The first and most obvious was the hand-drawn smiley face, which over the years had become something like a signature or logo for the person or people behind the mystery. A small, smirking man with two dots for eyes and a sly grin tucked into the corner of page after page. On top of this, Martin Luther also appeared repeatedly, either directly or through references. And so did one particular word, leitmotif. It's a German word that means recurring theme, which is interesting because recurring themes are exactly what these advertisements seem to rely on. At first glance, it's easy to dismiss the archive as the work of a schizophrenic, a theory that has been debated for years on the internet. But after combing through dozens of them, there are two reasons why I don't think that theory holds up. For one, the advertisements are incredibly detailed. They pull together mathematics, history, religion, science, multiple languages, maps, and recurring symbols in ways that stay surprisingly consistent over decades. Then there's the money. By 1997 alone, dozens of Mayday advertisements have already been published, and new ones have continued appearing almost every year since the early 1980s, with smaller updates being released in between. A full-page ad in the Wildcat can cost hundreds of dollars each time, which suggests that whoever was behind them had both the financial resources and a long-term commitment to the project. For years, the identity of the people behind these advertisements remained a complete mystery, until Brian finally found the first real lead. It wasn't the anonymous author, but the man who had been submitting the advertisements to the newspaper for years, a Tucson attorney named Robert Truman Hungerford. Brian first learned about Robert after unexpectedly receiving an email from him. Robert confirmed that he acted as the legal representative for the people behind the advertisements. Yet, despite acting as the middleman, he consistently refused to reveal who his clients actually were. And from that point on, Brian's investigation became part of the mystery itself. He began receiving carefully scripted phone calls, cryptic mail, and packages postmarked from Las Vegas and routed through Pakistan, some containing foreign stamps and Middle Eastern coins. After he fell behind on website updates because he was sick, he even received a get well card. None of these messages were openly threatening, but they made one thing clear. Whoever was behind the Mayday mystery knew exactly who Brian was, and they were paying attention to his investigation. And this naturally shifted all the focus towards Robert, because he wasn't a random attorney. He had studied at the University of Arizona, earned a doctorate in theology, became a member of Mensa, the highest IQ society in the world, and reportedly spoke several languages, including Dutch, German, Greek, Hebrew, Latin, Russian, and Spanish. So, when you compare his background to the advertisements with their theological references, historical figures, and multilingual fragments, it becomes easy to understand why people began to suspect he was more than just the lawyer. There's one more detail that makes the connection a lot stronger. If you pull up Robert's old University of Arizona yearbook photo, he appears to have close-cropped hair, the eyebrows running almost straight across, and a faint smile, all of which looks exactly like the little smirking man at the bottom of pages. However, he has repeatedly denied being the sole creator. Instead, he claims he was representing an organization known as the Orphanage. In interviews over the years, he described the Mayday mystery as a work of art, while also suggesting there was a real society behind it who dealt with future events. He also insisted that everything needed to understand the mystery is already publicly available on Brian's website, encouraging people to pay particular attention to its theological themes. But if the orphanage is real, no one has been able to prove who they are. Over the years, theories have ranged from a political activist group with roots in the Vietnam War era, to an alternate reality game, to a massive work of conceptual art designed to reward only the most obsessive investigators. Yet, none of these theories explain every piece of the mystery. And it's not because people haven't tried over the decades. One young woman once drove from Phoenix to meet Brian at a cafe in downtown Tucson, carrying a thick binder of research. She believed the Mayday mystery was connected to the Zodiac killer, comparing symbols from the ad with ciphers and envelopes linked to the case. Brian heard her out, but told her he didn't think that was it. And before she left, she told him she had already sent everything to the FBI. But not every theory was that far-reaching. One of the most interesting clues came from an anonymous contributor on Brian's website who used the name Near a Terminal. Unlike most people, this person seemed to understand how at least part of the puzzle worked. For one of the earlier ads from the 1980s, the person pointed out that if you counted the brushstrokes in the Chinese characters, you got 24, and if you counted the letters in the English word above them, Richmond, you got 8. Put them together and you get 8/24, or August 24th. And sure enough, the next ad in the series had appeared on August 24th. However, it remains as one of the only times anyone has ever produced a clean, verifiable decode of any part of the mystery. Brian became convinced that Near a Terminal was somehow connected to the orphanage. However, even that breakthrough only cracked one tiny piece of one ad out of hundreds. And that is what makes the Mayday mystery so unsettling. Every time one part begins to make sense, the larger picture becomes even harder to see. On one occasion, Robert claimed that the mystery went back even further than the newspaper ads. According to him, the first message existed long before 1981, but in a different medium. He refused to say what that medium was, only explaining that the earlier messages were designed so that someone would have to be inside the group to even recognize them, which means Brian's site may not even contain the complete archive of these puzzles. Nonetheless, for nearly 3 decades, Brian preserved the ads, letters, and any clues connected to the mystery. But even after all this, he never came even close to understanding what the messages actually meant. After more than 40 years, countless investigators, and hundreds of theories, the Mayday mystery remains unsolved.
Yeah, family. Have you ever heard of that? I never did. Like, that's something I learned. I never heard of that case before. If y'all have, let me know in the comments. Let's get straight back into it.
Chinese Lab. In February 2022, a Chinese urban explorer posted a video on Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok, showing a strange location he found in rural China. The place looked like an abandoned hospital or laboratory. As he went deeper into the basement, he stumbled upon a shocking sight, a large pool full of what looked like the bodies of children. At the beginning of the video, the blogger claimed these were just models or film props. However, viewers instantly doubted him because everything looked way too realistic. Nearly a year later, the explorer decided to return to the site. His second visit proved that these weren't just props. Over the months he was gone, the remains in the pool showed clear signs of natural decomposition. On top of that, he found medical equipment and a glass jar containing a human embryo inside the lab. Shortly after, his account was banned. When it was finally restored sometime later, the videos were gone, and the blogger never mentioned the incident again. His footage sparked massive controversy both inside China and around the world. Some people speculated that this was a dark consequence of China's one-child policy, which lasted until 2015. Another theory suggested a link to the black market organ trade. There are other theories, but none of them actually explain what this place really was.
They told you the census was harmless, but what if counting people was the first step in watching them? Follow Real American History, because this is one of the most uncomfortable truths in our nation's past. The census was sold as simple math. Who lives where, nothing more. But during moments of fear and crisis, population data quietly crossed the line. Not names handed over in a folder, but detailed breakdowns of race, location, and concentration that allowed the government to see communities as targets, not neighbors. At what point does collecting data turn into controlling people? Here's the brutal reality. During World War II, census information was used to help locate Japanese American communities for removal. Once the line was crossed, the promise of absolute confidentiality never fully recovered. As technology advanced, census data became even more powerful. Neighborhoods were mapped, ethnic clusters identified. Poverty and migration patterns fed into policing, surveillance, and policy decisions. The public was told the data was protected. Behind the scenes, exceptions kept expanding. The census doesn't arrive with force. It works quietly, through categories that shape funding, scrutiny, and suspicion. Do you trust that data collected today won't be used differently tomorrow? Pick a side. Defend the census as harmless, or admit it's been used as a surveillance tool for decades. Drop your thoughts in the comments and share this story. Follow Real American History to learn all the truths the textbooks leave out. They told
I'll feed you people or whatever, but I'm not trying to be running no dope down the highway, dog. Like, I'm not really trying to do that shit. But I did that shit for him multiple times, ran work down the highway for him.
You were in a caravan?
Yeah, we'd do like 4-car caravans. Like 4 cars, 3 cars sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But usually 4 cars, like one in front. Usually the person in the middle had to work, and the person behind was watching. And then the 4th car was always the spotter car or somebody to do something wild. So if we saw the police or the state troopers on the side of the highway, and then I got homeboys who are truck drivers. So when they're out, you know, they got the times when they're out doing the DPS stops, when they're hitting the truckers and they're on the highway super tough pulling truck drivers over. So I got homies that are truck drivers that are just local in the state of Texas. And I got a goddamn, at that time I had like a walkie-talkie that did like the CB shit, and it was a police scanner. So we'd be riding and I'd be talking to my homeboys. I'm like, hey, did this and did that. And they would just keep me updated on what was going on. So we had it coordinated pretty well the times that we did it. I just didn't really like doing it.
Did you ever have to do something crazy, or did the 4th car ever have to, you know, get in an accident or speed or anything? You never saw the cops?
No, we were usually nothing ever crazy. I mean, we had a couple of times where cops might have got on us, but we always used different cars. I'll feed you.
Shit looks crazy right here, y'all. Shit, I'm not doing no shit like this. Hell no. Gotta be with your motherfucking mind to do this shit. Would y'all do this? Let me know.
We're going to talk about the largest investigation that the United States government has ever done into the CIA and what they found. So the CIA was originally created and only supposed to spy on our enemies. This is when Americans found out that the CIA was spying on us. So a journalist, his name was Seymour Hersh, he exposed proof that the CIA was spying on American citizens. The CIA was never supposed to operate inside of the United States. So when that came out, Congress launches this huge investigation called the Church Committee. The first things it exposed was a bunch of different, like, really f***ed up operations. The first one is Operation Chaos. So the CIA was secretly tracking and creating files on thousands of Americans just for protesting the government. And that's like the smallest part of it. I would argue like the biggest or like most controversial was MK Ultra, where they did mind control experiments. They were giving people, random people, drugs like LSD without their knowledge or consent. One of the people, actually, fun fact, connected to those experiments was Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. We're all taught that the Unabomber was some like crazy domestic terrorist trying to bomb everybody. No. Look at who he targeted. He carried out a nationwide bombing campaign targeting scientists, airline officials, and universities that he believed were connected to advancing modern technology, because he said that technology and science were destroying human society. You want to know why? Because the CIA subjected him to intense psychological experiments as a student. Yeah, they left that part out, but it's okay, because I tell you the tea. And also, before Congress could even fully investigate MK Ultra, the CIA destroyed a lot of the records, so it's probably way worse than what we even know. Another thing, at the same exact time, the government was targeting its own citizens through a program called COINTELPRO. They were infiltrating political groups, spreading propaganda, false information, forging letters, creating internal conflict, trying to turn members against each other so that these movements would collapse from the inside, like without government intervention. Even people like Martin Luther King Jr. were targeted by the CIA, and there's proof. Another thing, we were involved in a lot of assassination plots, including but not limited to Fidel Castro, using like poison and other covert methods. Fun fact, and it's scary because I don't know what they even have now in the CIA, but back in the 70s, they had what was like a heart attack gun. And it was a device that could induce a heart attack without leaving a trace. It was like a little microscopic little pin that would literally like look like a heart attack on an autopsy. But anyway, they also found evidence that the CIA had relationships with journalists and media outlets, placing stories and influencing narratives, shaping how information was presented to the public. And this was called Operation Mockingbird, if you want to look more into it. So essentially, the CIA just didn't have one bad plan or program. It was surveillance, manipulation, experimentation, covert violence, all happening at the same time. And this is when the United States realized that the CIA was not spying on enemies. They were spying on us the entire time.
And it's kind of surprising. Can someone explain to me why there's a door right here?
Okay, so not everyone knows this, but behind Mount Rushmore, there is a door that leads to a tomb where all 4 presidents' bodies lay. Theodore Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and Thomas Jefferson's bodies are all there. They have been encased in egg yolk and flour to preserve their bodies. Don't tell anyone this.
Hell no, family. What y'all think about what he just said? Like some egg yolk for real? But I don't know. I have no clue what the hell to think anymore. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it down in the comments real quick. Let's get straight back into it.
DARPA is something most Americans have never heard of. It's the biggest collection of geniuses anywhere in government. These are the guys that are creating not the next generation of technology, but 3 generations from now. If there are flying saucers and they're not little green men from outer space, DARPA made them. Seriously. This always struck me as very funny. DARPA's work is so classified that one DARPA scientist sitting next to another DARPA scientist has no idea what the other guy's working on. It's too highly classified. I mean, even at the CIA, we weren't cleared.
Not even at your position?
I had to get a Q clearance once because I had to go to the Department of Energy to talk about a nuclear issue. Nobody liked the fact that I had the clearance, and I ended up having the clearance just for 1 day, and then they revoked it. But that's how DARPA is too. This is another thing that always struck me as funny. There's a DARPA website, and they have pictures of scientists like, working together all in bliss. These are just generic pictures of random people you pull off the internet. These aren't DARPA people that are in the pictures. You can't show the DARPA people. They're too highly cleared.
Things that the government don't want you to know, part 24. There's no point in working a job. In 1933, the government went bankrupt, and they got rid of all of our money. And then they gave us a fiat currency called Federal Reserve Notes. And they also gave us something called a credit system. Since the government is so much in debt to us, they basically offered to pay for everything. Yes, your house, your car, everything's already paid for. Why would you go work for $15 an hour and you work half your shifts for free because they take 50% of your income, when all you really have to do is walk into the bank with a good credit score and they'll give you some imaginary numbers on a plastic card? Make that make sense.
This is the secret history of America. As children, we were taught that the Spaniards came over and found an indigenous and savage people. But what the history books don't tell you is that there was an advanced civilization here already. Early archaeologists were dumbfounded when they found hundreds of giant-sized mummies in burial mounds. These discoveries led a British prospector named J.C. Brown to travel to a place called Mount Shasta in California. He found a cave at the base of the mountain that spiraled 11 miles into the earth. And it was there that he found an ancient underground city. Inside he found gold and silver and giant colossal weapons, but there was no people anywhere. And it was only on his way out that he found thousands of mummies buried inside another cave. He brought back one of the skeletons and wanted to share this news with the world, but on the day of the departure, J.C. Brown was murdered in his tent.
You know that feeling when you start reading a book and after just a few pages, you're already exhausted by the amount of abstract and irrelevant information, where the author circles around the topic without ever giving you the core insight, wasting your time? Well, this is one of the rare books that isn't like that. This book won't drain you or waste your time. Hidden Laws of the Game is a book that will reveal some shocking, hidden universal laws that have been kept secret since ancient times. As the author, I can confidently say that After reading this book and applying just a few methods from it, you will be unrecognizable in a very short period of time and will have an unfair advantage over others. In this book, you will learn how to truly manifest effectively, how to attract money and wealth, how to stay 100% healthy and never catch even the smallest flu again, how to elevate your brain function to elite levels, how to reprogram your subconscious for success, what foods to eat and what to avoid, how to steer clear of negative karma, and much more that will help you become what most can only dream of. This is the most important piece of material in your life. These 21 principles will finally awaken you from the trance and activate your higher intelligence, after which you'll be ready to conquer all your goals. It's time to shift into a new paradigm. See you on the other side. Unfortunately, this ebook is on the blacklist, and it's only a matter of time before our website is shut down. So there's a high chance that this ebook will disappear forever. If you don't grab this ebook right now, you might regret it later. While you're doubting yourself and overthinking, others are applying these techniques and making cash. See you on the other side.
You've been lied to about human history. Tell me, how could people using horses and wooden carts build massive, flawless stone structures like these? Perfect symmetry, sky-high domes, intricate carvings, and all with hammers and handsaws? That makes zero sense. Look closer. Our timeline doesn't add up. What if the history we're taught was rewritten to hide something? Here's where it gets even crazier. What if the dates on these buildings are wrong? What if that one in 1890 wasn't a one at all? We could be off by 1,000 years. So who actually built them? Ever heard of Tartaria? A vast empire once spanning Europe and Asia, mysteriously erased from textbooks. But you can't erase everything. Old maps still show Tartaria, and their technology was said to rival or surpass ours. Some believe they built the Great Wall of China and the breathtaking architecture we now claim as 19th century. Maybe Tartaria isn't just a myth. Maybe it's the missing civilization that proves our history isn't history at all.
Yeah, family, what y'all think about those? Like, what y'all think about Tartaria and all that? Because I could see that happening. Like, we're not alone on this planet. We all know that. Let's all wake up together. Let's get straight back into it. Let's go.
In 2006, a leaked document revealed that in a nondescript building in San Francisco, behind this random yellow door labeled 641A, the NSA had set up this harmless-looking box that tapped into the fiber optic cables that traversed the Pacific Ocean into Asia. The phone company AT&T had agreed to let them siphon off the traffic that was moving through their cables.
This is the greatest hemorrhaging of legitimate American secrets in the history of the Republic.
And that is what we have been looking through. I mean, there's a lot more documents, but we sifted through and found the documents that show us that it wasn't just one cable in San Francisco being tapped. Yahoo, Google, Facebook. Paltalk? What the hell is Paltalk? Who knows, but the NSA was tapping their cables.
Yes, there is a portal in the United States. In fact, I suspect there are multiple. But this particular portal is in a highly guarded facility that is used under the US Forest Service cover. There are men with guns who patrol it, and there are witnesses who have seen what are clearly people operating with the knowledge of the US military in civilian clothes, walking into literally a wall. These witnesses are terrified. They're not about to stick their heads up on TV, but they are happy to talk to people like me. I've spoken to people who have told me about the existence of this portal. I've been to the location. I am aware that it was the subject of extensive study by a team that was operating in the area for some considerable period of time. I'm told that there is technology that is being used to try to deaden the efficacy of the portal to stop things coming out or going through. I know it all sounds like something out of science fiction, but believe me, the United States knows a hell of a lot more about portals and interdimensional technologies than it cares to admit. And at some stage, they're going to have to tell the public the truth. Otherwise, it's all going to come rolling out in an absolutely catastrophic way. What more can I say? The portal or portals that I'm aware of, but believe me, it's an extremely sensitive, highly guarded, secret military facility. Don't try and access there. If you're speculating about where it is, you'll get killed. There is a determination by the sections of the national security state that are aware of all of this to keep it quiet, to hide it from you, the general public. I have no idea why they think they can continue to maintain such a degree of secrecy. It's going to blow up in their face. But I'm very sorry I can't tell you any more right now. I'm certainly caught.
His family. Do you think we got portals, places? If you do, let me know in the comments. Jot something down. Let me know. Let's get back into it. Let's get it.
1951, the United States started the Invention Secrecy Act. This basically meant that any new invention that the United States deemed as a security threat could be completely hidden from the public. But there's a theory going around that a lot of these inventions may not necessarily be being hidden for our safety and our security, but for the sake of the US economy and the major corporations that will be threatened by the newer and better technology. Some of the speculated technology is the water fuel cell, which would allow a car to be completely fueled by water, Tesla coils, which was supposed to provide free energy to entire cities wirelessly, and anti-gravity technology, which would allow any vehicle to basically free float in the sky and go as fast or slow as it wanted to. Now, people could just be reaching, who knows for sure, but what if this is why they don't want us to know how advanced ancient civilizations were? Because if we knew that ancient civilizations had free energy and floating vehicles, we'd want the same thing too, and this would threaten the oil companies and the energy companies. Leave a like and let me know what you think. In 19...
There was a guy that was talking about how there's a secret government that our government don't even know about. So he was basically saying that this secret government has its own navy, has its own air force, has its own funding system, and it's like completely secret to the people. They have technology that's like more advanced than our most advanced plane that we have. They learn to take energy out of a small area. It's like some advanced physics, and it's something like if we give it to the people, there'll be free energy all around the world.
Damn, we're definitely on Mars, bro. If we got something like that, you put that in an engine, bro, we're on Mars.
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. But it's like, what is the point of having something that low key?
For weapons, like, we know there's aliens, so aliens coming to fight us, we need something defense. Also, like, control. Say really start rioting, Russia act up or something, anybody act up, now we have something like a real deterrent. Like, yo, calm down before, like a nuke.
Low key, before we dropped the nuke, nobody knew what a nuke was.
Yeah.
Now everybody got nukes. So you gotta drop a nuke? Nah, we are 10 steps ahead of you. There was a guy that was
a show with a very disturbing secret. Back in like 1979, there was this show on the Christian television network called Joy Junction.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
Do you remember?
This way, Marty. Look over here just a sec. Thank you.
I remember it because of the puppet. It aired from 1980 all the way to 2005. So that's like what, 26 years?
Long ass time.
And then out of nowhere, it just stopped airing episodes without an explanation. And nobody ever knew why. If you search up Joy Junction, you can only find like 39 episodes on YouTube, like re-uploads of the entire 26 years of its runtime. And any producers, any actors, directors that worked on this show, they basically act like this show never existed. Like they don't want nothing to do with the show. What the fuck? And each episode was about 30 minutes long. An episode would be based around a lesson taught in the Bible, and then it would be told in an acted out way by the characters and hosts of the show, which was one of the ones you just saw. Ron, who was a professional ventriloquist, and his puppet Marty. And now throughout the years of Ronald being on the show, he would eventually start his own company in 1991 called Puppets Plus. It was a puppet company where parents, companies could contact him and have him be entertainment to the kids. Nothing weird happened yet. It wasn't until like we hit like the early 2000s. During this time, he lived like next to a playground. He would invite kids over to his house for pizza, and then after that he would drive the kids in like a bus or like a van to like a church, and in the church he would perform his ventriloquism. But the parents, obviously, they saw that as fucking weird. Why are you inviting random kids over to your house and then like giving them rides,
yeah,
whatever,
100%.
right? They filed a complaint to the cops, but nothing was ever done because there was no explicit crime being done. There was nothing to incriminate him. Exactly, yes. And then time went on. Joy Junction just stopped. Everybody forgot about that show. Everybody forgot about Ronald. Then fast forward to 2012. Cops were working on a sting operation, and they ended up arresting a man named Michael Arnett. Totally different guy. They obviously raided his house, and you could imagine the kind of shit that was found in his house. They went through his computer. In the computer, there was like chat logs of some other user that they fantasized about like doing stuff to kids, and the cops ended up figuring out that the user that Michael Arnett was contacting with was that guy, the ventriloquist, Ronald Brown. They obviously ended up raiding his house, and they see that he had A show with a very
Another example of this is Mr. Meaty, which was a Canadian puppet show that was distributed by Nickelodeon in the US. It's a perfect example. Before it went to full series, it would just show up in the form of little shorts that played in between full-length shows. The show was really known for its creepy puppets who encountered these horrible situations while working at a fast food restaurant. In different episodes, they fried and ate their own hands. They discovered a giant tapeworm living inside of one of their stomachs. One of them even dated a girl made of roast beef who looked like she had no skin, and oftentimes they fought with their half-dead, cryogenically unfrozen boss. And if you just happened to catch one of these storylines with no explanation right before you were sitting down to say, watch Clarissa Explains It All, you might feel insane. But these memories do really stay with us, as that Reddit poster illustrated. I truly believe that he did see something he was never meant to as a child. I just don't know if it really aired on Nickelodeon. But his memory is so vivid, and he remembers so many details about the film. So whatever he saw was truly terrifying, and no kid should have ever seen it. But now there's entire communities online that are dedicated to finding lost media. And I want to continue to make these lost media episodes to share some more of them with you guys, because I find them so interesting and eerie. So let me know if that's something that you guys want to hear more of. And I think sometimes revisiting these things can really help us process them or help diminish their power over us, which is why actually this week in our Footnotes episode, which is available to the High Council tier on Patreon, you can join Leo and I as we revisit Attack of the Giant Vulture. We want to go through the short film, which was actually considered lost media for a very long time, and we want to see if it's still as disturbing as we remember. And I want to hear from all of you as well. Do you remember seeing something as a child that you just can't put your finger on or have never been able to find again? Let me know in the comments wherever you listen, because you never know, it just could be in our next Lost Media episode. But for now, that is all I have for you this week. Join me here next week as we're going to start easing our way into spooky season. I promise you're not going to want to miss it. I will see you all then, and until next time, stay curious.
Yeah, family. Y'all remember Mr. Meaty? Cause I used to watch that whenever I was a little ass kid. But if y'all did, let me know in the comments. Drop something. Let's get back straight to it.
No one realizes that episode 10 of From Season 4 hides 5 little-known details. Number 1, the painting behind Henry's head shows both the Earth and the Sun. The Sun seems to symbolize the man in yellow. The same yellow sun symbol also appears on the walls of Henry's hallucination. This painting clearly suggests that he must choose between the real world and the pleasant illusion created by the man in yellow. Number 2, when Sophia orders Elgin to make a deal, she uses a prayer-like gesture. So when Kenny agrees to pray with her in episode 1, could he have unknowingly made a deal with her and later become her spy? Number 3, Sophia secretly took all the talismans, but there is still one in Victor's truck. When Clara handed the bag of talismans to Sophia, she looked extremely nervous. She is likely influenced by Elgin's courage and replaced the real talismans with fake stones. Number 4, the confrontation between the boy in white and Sophia strongly resembles Jacob and the man in black in Lost. Considering the producers and directors are the same team, this is likely intentional. They tend to use colors to distinguish good and evil. Number 5, after the bottle tree was knocked down, the earthquake and lightning phenomena caused Boyd to break down. However, the earthquake helped Tabitha and Jade far more than it harmed them. This is likely protection from the sacrificed children. By the way, Randall's facial scars disappeared, and his healing speed seems unusual. Besides all of this, have you noticed any other interesting details?
Did you know that the 7 sacrificed children in From have actually been hiding among the residents of the town this whole time? The first match is the girl found pinned to a tree in Season 2. If you look closely at the wound on her forehead, it is identical to the scar on the ghost girl who reunited with Tabitha. The second clue is hidden in a small habit. In official stills, one of the ghost children shares the exact same finger-clasping habit that Father Kotri had. It's a very specific physical tic that the show highlights as a clear link to his past identity. Miranda's drawings depict two children with symmetrical eye wounds. In the town, Elgin was stabbed in the eye by Sarah, while Clara was injured in the opposite eye by a bursting light bulb. It's a perfect match to the painting. The fifth and sixth children likely correspond to Marielle and Kenny. The long-haired ghost girl shares Marielle's distinctively pale complexion, while the East Asian ghost boy is the probable link to Kenny. This would finally explain why the monsters targeted Kenny's entire family, but have never actually harmed him. That leaves the seventh child, who has never appeared alone in the series. They're likely the most important piece of the puzzle. Who do you think is the seventh child hiding in plain sight?
Truth Hidden in TV Shows, Part 4. The show we're going to talk about today is a well-known kids cartoon by the name of Teen Titans Go. On Season 4, Episode 17, titled Master Detective, this episode, Robin and the Teen Titans go on a mission to figure out what happened to all the animals outside the tower. When they went deep enough underground, they ran into an even bigger problem, which was the head of the Illuminati. My question is, why would this be in a kids show in the first place? Sad thing is, this isn't even the only one. Sad that they put this in kids shows to try and normalize it for the next generation. Everyone knows them as this so-called secret society who runs the world. Without further ado, let me show y'all this clip and y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments.
I suppose there's no harm in walking you through our plan for world domination. We did work hard on it. It all starts here with the banks.
We don't care about the bank. Now talk! Where are the animals?
Really? I don't know. I'll stop all our domination plans. I'll pull my lizard men out of Congress. We'll stop using Hollywood to hasten the New World Order. Just let me go.
Can a robot write a symphony? Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece? Can you?
Actually, they could do more than that now. Shh, shut up! Something is going on here, guys. And they told us in the iRobot movie. As you can see, whatever this thing was fully aware and was almost one of us. Is there a possibility that these robots could become like this one day? This is what people are saying. I don't believe that, because the robots I've seen has been made for good things, right? But I don't know how right I can be at this point, guys, because they said something there. That robot got smart with Will Smith. Robots could do a lot. Robots could do everything that Will Smith said that he couldn't do. And he said, could you? I don't know what to think, but I know that iRobot was telling us something, bro. And now that we watch it later on, we see what they're talking about. Which is nothing, because this video is for entertainment purposes only, bro. This is just a movie. This is not real. Let's never, ever forget that. I don't know what these things are, and I hope I never see them. Let me know what you think. I'm out.
Hey, family, what do y'all think about the last few? The, the robot shit, man. I definitely do see that happening nowadays. Let me know what y'all think. Drop down in the comments. Let's go straight back into it. Let's go.
Paid in full that says the Chinese food scene at the beginning of the movie foreshadows the entire story. In the scene, Ace, Mitch, and Rico are sitting at a small table eating Chinese food while complaining that they did not get any soy sauce. Ace then throws a balled-up paper bag toward the trash can and makes the shot. Right away, Rico tries to turn it into a bet and tells Ace to do it again for money, but Ace refuses. That small moment says a lot about Ace. He is careful, humble, and does not like playing with money just to prove a point. But Mitch is different. He jumps into the bet, takes the shot, and wins Rico's money. Then Rico doubles down and challenges Mitch to do it again for even more money. This time, Mitch misses, and Rico immediately demands his money back. When Mitch cannot pay, Rico takes his food and tells him that if he cannot pay up, he cannot eat or drink. Fans believe this scene quietly explains all three characters. Ace knows when to walk away, which is why he survives longer than most people around him. Mitch is flashy and loves the thrill of money, but he does not know when to stop. Rico, on the other hand, shows exactly who he is from the beginning, someone who puts money over loyalty, friendship, and love. That is why some fans believe this small Chinese food scene was not random at all. It was the whole movie in one moment.
This was hidden in a 1994 film. People still don't notice it. Keep watching.
Check that out. He's about to give this. We all know what that is. Baphomet face, right? About to give that to Jenny, right? And then have this. There's gonna be something that, alright, look carefully. With his right hand, he's gonna put his peace sign up, right? But look carefully at the left hand. What does that look like? He had one finger out. Now watch this. It's a very clear Baphomet salute.
I didn't notice it at first. It's just one photo. The same hand signs. The same dark imagery. The same obsession with dressing up. Everyone always argues what it means. But that's not what made me uncomfortable. What bothers me is how much it actually shows up. In films, music, fashion, award shows. Your subconscious picks up on them anyway. And the symbols don't explain, they condition. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
Well, family, I never realized or noticed that shit in Forrest Gump. If y'all did, let me know in the comments. Drop something down. Let's get back on straight to it.
Look, see those birds? At some point, a program was written to govern them. A program was written to watch over the trees and the wind, sunrise and sunset. There are programs running all over the place. The ones doing their job, doing what they were meant to do, are invisible. You never even know they were here. But the other ones, well, you hear about them all the time.
I've never heard of them.
Of course you have. Every time you've heard someone say they saw a ghost or an angel. Every story you've ever heard about vampires, werewolves, or aliens is the system assimilating some program that's doing something they're not supposed to be doing.
Programs hacking programs. Why?
There are reasons, but usually a program chooses exile when it faces deletion.
And why would a program be deleted?
Maybe it breaks down. Maybe a better program is created to replace it. Happens all the time. And when it does, a program can either choose to hide here or return to the source.
The machine mainframe.
Yes. Where you must go.
Creepy things hidden inside Disney movies. In the movie Moana. While Moana is sailing on her boat, there's a basket behind her filled with old items. Inside are a carrot, round light pieces, and small twigs. Together, they clearly form Olaf from Frozen. In the movie Brother Bear, several fish fall back into the river, but if you look closely, for a brief moment a small colorful fish swims between them. He looks completely out of place. Many instantly recognize him as Nemo. In the movie Tangled, when Rapunzel and Flynn are inside a crowded house, the viewer's eyes drift upward to the beams. Sitting there is something unusual, a small wooden boy on the rafters. Visible only for seconds, yet many recognize him immediately. It's Pinocchio. In the movie WALL-E. Among the massive piles of trash lies a toy dinosaur. It's Rex from Toy Story, alone, forgotten, in the waste of an abandoned world.
In the year 325, something happened. Our texts were edited, and we lost tremendous amounts of information. The Emperor Constantine, in the early Christian church, with the early Christian Bible, had to make decisions. What information do we include? What information do we exclude? And what we know now is that at least 45 books were either completely taken away or tremendously edited into what we call today our Western biblical tradition. And when those edits were made, we lost the information that tells us everything is connected. We lost the information that tells us the language that speaks to this field. We know the information was lost because we are now recovering the information.
If you can say these names while you have a body, you're safe. If you forget them the moment you leave it, you belong to them. The Gnostics didn't leave us prayers. Instead, they left us passwords. These are the ancient phonetic triggers used to force the 365 gatekeepers to step aside. Oh yeah, and if you're interested in learning more about Gnosticism and other mystery traditions like Kabbalah, Hermeticism, and Rosicrucianism, make sure to click the link in my bio because the doors to the Inner Sanctum are opening for a limited time very soon. So if you're interested, click the link. Now that you're ready, let's start with where these passwords come from. For starters, these names weren't invented. They were recovered. The Nag Hammadi Library, a collection of Gnostic texts buried in Egypt in the 4th century, hidden from the church's destruction campaigns, contains detailed maps of the Archonic realm, complete with the specific names, seals, and mystery words required to pass each gate. The most detailed of these manuals is called the Pistis Sophia, so specific about the mechanics of soul ascension that early church authorities classified it as among the most dangerous documents in existence. It doesn't describe the afterlife poetically, it describes it architecturally, gate by gate and name by name. And speaking of names, what are they? Well, the Gnostic texts name the primary archons explicitly. These are not symbolic placeholders, they are the specific identities of the gatekeepers that the ascending soul will encounter. Now, the first and most powerful is Yaldabaoth. He's the lion-faced serpent, the one who rules the material world and declared himself the only god. His name must be spoken not as worship, but as identification. You're not calling to him, you are naming him. And in naming him, you strip him of his authority over you. Now, above him sit his 7 subordinate archons, each governing a planetary sphere. Their names, as recorded in the Apocryphon of John, are Athoth, Harmas, Kalilia Ombri, Yabel, Adonaiu, Cain, and Abel, each one corresponding to a classical planet and each one demanding recognition before allowing passage. But those names are just scratching the surface. The Gospel of the Egyptians, one of the most sacred and least discussed of the Nag Hammadi texts, takes the password system even further. It preserves what it calls the holy incorruptible names delivered not by human teachers but transmitted directly from the divine realm above all 365 heavens. These names function as what the text calls living waters, vibrational frequencies so precisely calibrated to the structure of the archonic realm that speaking them correctly causes the entire system to recognize the soul as something that does not belong to it. The text explicitly states that these names were hidden inside creation itself at the very moment of its construction, embedded by the true divine as an escape route that the demiurge didn't know was there. Now, among the most significant preserved in the text is Isias Mazarias Ezedekias, or the name of the living water itself, a triple-layered divine title associated with the light realm above all archons. It appears not once but repeatedly throughout the text as a kind of master frequency, a name so complete that it encodes the entire path of return. But wait, there's more. This is where it gets almost uncomfortably specific. The Gnostic texts, particularly the Bruce Codex and the books of Jehu, preserve sequences of pure vowel sounds used as vibrational passwords at specific archonic gates, not words with meaning, pure sound, and pure frequency. The 7 Greek vowels were understood to correspond directly to the 7 planetary archons and their spheres. Each vowel was the sonic signature of that layer's ruling power. Chanting the vowel sequence in the correct order was understood to be a complete traversal of the planetary archonic system in sound, a rehearsal of the ascent performed in the body before the soul had to perform it after death. The books of Jehu go even further, preserving specific vowel string passwords for individual gates. Sequences like A, E, U, E weren't random chanting. They were precise navigational codes. The soul arriving at a gate and producing the correct vowel sequence was presenting a vibrational credential that the archon was cosmically bound to honor. And here's what it means for you. Simply put, you now carry the names the church spent centuries trying to erase. Yaldabaoth, Athoth, Isias Mazarias Ezedekias, the vowel keys of the 7 gates. Not as invocations, as identifications. The difference between a prisoner and a sovereign in this system is simply whether you know what you're inside of. The Gnostics didn't offer salvation, they offered orientation. And orientation in a 365-layer prison is everything. So if you want to know more about Gnosticism, make sure to like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments below, click the link in my bio if you want some more information, and follow for more deep dives like this. Till next time, guys.
Because I'm trying to tell y'all, people that ain't know the Titanic sunk on purpose. They didn't know, and they monetized the shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say it's so much hidden knowledge, and people caught flack when I said this, but a lot of people liked it when I said that if the regurgitated version of the Bible that they gave us today helped black people or any people get out of their current situation, they would have never introduced it to us, which is true.
Right.
Because the Vatican has so much fucking like books, all type of architect. They have real knowledge that a lot of people ain't even ready for, but they give us this.
Right.
Anytime your enemy gives you something, it's not for your use, bro.
They gave us shackles.
That's all it is.
Wow.
And that's, see, listen, the Bible, like I say, the Bible is what keep broke people from killing rich people.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? That's the glue. You see what I'm saying?
What?
It's a belief system, bro. Everything is built around belief systems.
If you read the book of Enoch, you discover like the angel Azazel comes down, right? He comes from the sky down to earth. The first thing he teaches us is how to make weapons. Let me show you how to smelt this steel and make this sword that can cut through anything. Let me show you how to make a breastplate. Let me show you how to make a shield so that you can repel a blade and all these kind of things. And then he even goes out and helps humans kill people. So these are not what they call quote unquote angels, in my opinion. These are what people call aliens or advanced. I call them advanced beings because we look a lot like them and they look a lot like us. There is some distinction. They were distinguishable from humans, but they look just like humans in the biblical text. In the Bible, in some texts, they call them the Anak, A-N-A-K, the Anunnaki, the Anak. They say we were grasshoppers in their eyesight. They were big people. And these people came from heaven to earth. And in the Naturu, in ancient Egypt, they say the Naturu came down from heaven to earth and turned mud into a kingdom. In the Aboriginal culture, the Aboriginal elder, I've been on walkabouts in the outback. The Aboriginal elders, verbal handed down history for thousands of years. We were seeded on this planet by the Pleiadians. They brought us here. We were the first people here. You go to the Hopi tribe, the Lakota tribe, our star brothers seeded us on this planet. If you read the
family, this is crazy as hell. Left me speechless. I don't know what to think right now. Hold on. Yeah, family. That's all for today's video. So if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know what y'all want to see next. I'm Kingrum, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.